Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Out Freakout. It's your host Ron Bondajon once again, and I am joined as ever with my esteemed panel of expert guests. We have Mr. Robtimus, aka my friend Cameron. We have Sector 7 FBI Female Body Inspector, aka Maddie. And then we also have Unicron Bob, aka Ruby. We're going to be talking all things Transformers, and we all know a thing or two about Transformers, don't we?
Yes, you got that thing right, brother.
Got that thing right.
Bit of an understatement, but yes.
Now, I happen to know that there is another Transformers movie coming out this year, in July in fact. It's kind of on the down low, not a lot of people who aren't real fans are aware. But Transformers Rise of the Beast looks to be the greatest of all films, and possibly even the greatest of all Transformer films. I'm excited. I know what Beast Wars is.
So do we.
I'm gonna call you out on this one, Mr. Ron, was it?
Well, we get on to the next thing. So, a wonderful part of course, the Geek Out Freakout, which we're doing right now, is that we're not only going to be giving a history of the Transformers for anyone out there who might be a bit Autobot curious. However, we are also going to be playing a game. It's very simple, just simple factoids to show your mastery of Transformers and also make it to where it's not so boring, just a general overstatement of this very simple story. Are you guys ready?
Ready as ever.
All right.
My dude.
I guess you're just gonna steamroll over what I was saying, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So, here's time for question number 1. In 1984, Hasbro imported a line of transforming toys from Japan. Can you tell me the toy manufacturer who first made the robots? Is it A, Bandai, B, Takara, or C, Godison?
How should we answer?
I will take a hands up.
Secret answer D, Unicron.
Unicron is not in fact a Japanese toy manufacturer, though I enjoy the attempt. Yes.
Is it Bandai Namco from Japan?
I'm afraid Bandai is actually the greatest competitor of this particular toy company. However, it is always appealing to see that people do remember that Bandai and Namco did have a merger quite a few years back.
Shucks. See?
It's okay, I know you guys are all playing a bit. Of course, we all know that the real answer is B, Takara, who made the Diaclone line as well as the Microchange line. This was at one point known as Convoy or Powered Convoy, though we know him today as Optimus Prime, the most famous of all fictional characters. If you guys would like to have a look-see at this toy, I know you've looked at before.
Yeah, this is in pristine condition. Usually you'll find these in a jar if you find them online, but this one's actually pretty clean. The joints move really well.
This was the 2019 re-release from Walmart, but hey, I like where your head's at.
It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Look at this chrome. Seeing that shit? Chrome. Bam, that's beautiful.
Yep.
This is a real American toy with these guns.
Yeah, it's neat.
Now that we've talked about the real-world versions of the origins of this story, why don't we get into the actual lore? Now, as everybody knows, Transformers started out as an evolved species on the planet Cybertron. You see, from a system of naturally occurring pulleys, levers, and buttons, eventually they were able to evolve, much like we evolved from fish. Wait a minute, no, that's stupid. That's not that No, that's right. So, what actually happened was, there were two space gladiators known as Primus and Unicron. Primus and Unicron were locked in an epic duel that lasted forever, until eventually they stopped when Primus struck the killing blow to Unicron. Both of them then were sent to opposite ends of the universe, where they lay dormant for millennia. While they lay dormant, gravity saw detritus grow around them until eventually they became planets. Primus turned into the metallic planet of Cybertron, which eventually housed the Transformers race, also known as the Cybertronians. However, Unicron was always fully sentient, whereas Primus went dormant in order to create life. Primus, or Unicron, was always alive, and was just waiting to come back.
So, God in this universe are pulleys and levers?
He goes, no. I know how they got started this time. No, I got it this time. You see, what actually happened was there was a species known as the quintessons. And the quintessons were, of course, the six-faced baddies that we met first in the G1 movie known as The Transformers, the movie. And in the Season 3 season finale, Five Faces of Darkness, we became aware for the first time that the quintessons actually built Cybertron from the ground up and used the Cybertronians as a slave race. The Autobots were meant to be the scientists, and the Decepticons were meant to be the warriors. After a revolt against the quintessons, the warrior class of the Decepticons actually led a revolt against the scientific body, and thus led to the Civil War.
That does not look fucking real.
Well, it's very real. Now, admittedly, this isn't a great toy, but it is a pretty excellent representation of the quintessons if you're a real Transformers fan. And of course, if you're a real Transformers fan, you will have 5 of those, one for each face of darkness.
Where's
Yeah, dog.
Where are your other 4?
Well, I only brought one for the show.
Convenient.
As we all know,
This is legit.
It does get points for spinning heads, I guess.
As we all know, they did spin in order to change personalities, because each one of those faces represents something different. The face of death, which is the one that looks like the Grim Reaper, is easily the most famous one.
I think you use the term famous very
Probably.
freely.
However, that's enough of that nonsense. Now that the quintessons have been driven off of Cybertron, eventually we saw the leader, A3. A3 would later go on to be known as Alpha Trigon, who we'll get back to later. But you see, during this time, the primes rose into prominence, with the very first prime being Prima, and eventually going all the way to Sentinel Prime, who was for a while called Pickup Prime, because we didn't have a name for him quite yet. Once we had
So they made a character with no name? Like they made him and said, yeah, we'll do it later?
I mean, you can't name everything on your first go-around.
And that's right. Damn right.
However, eventually, you saw the rise of the Decepticons. This was, of course, after the enslaved people were able to free themselves of the quintessons. The Decepticons led a revolt against the Autobots that even mastered the form of transforming, which is what gave them the term Decepticons, for they were deceiving. And it was the Decepticons, specifically a group known as the Constructicons, who of course would form the Mighty Devastator, where we saw the most infamous of all Decepticons.
What?
You see,
Him?
the Constructicons were actually able to bind together.
Some beautiful colors on this dude. Perfect barf green and spooky purple. Another gun. Where are the guns in this lore?
You see now, the Constructicons were actually able to bind together in order to create the eventual leader and founder of the Decepticons, Megatron. You see, the Decepticons commissioned the Constructicons in order to make the founder of the Decepticons, Megatron.
So wait, this dude is made up of a bunch of littler dudes.
Well, they're all about the size of Megatron, yes.
But Megatron is small.
But didn't you say that a bunch of these dudes came together to make that dude?
Yes. You see, the Constructicons, that's perfectly fine. The Constructicons were commissioned by
These
the
old
Decepticons
things.
in order to create the leader and founder of the Decepticons, Megatron.
Nicki Minaj, fun fact, also is the big homie Megatron.
Now you see, once Megatron was actually fully built, he would go on to make a device that would convince the Autobot group known as the Constructicons to join the Decepticons. It was actually Devastator, who was an Autobot defender that Megatron had to reprogram.
Wow.
Yes.
I wasn't paying attention.
Were we cutting that out?
Liberals! No! Religions for fools, eh? Fools and liberals. I'm making this fun for Ruby. I'm staring into this fucking camera dead on like...
Now, the early Decepticon cause was actually rather ramshackle. Megatron made use of a number of drones that were constructed by Shockwave, the most brilliant mind on Cybertron. Shockwave would go on to be the guardian of Cybertron, and he would stay behind when the others would go on to Earth. He was also joined by his communications officer, Soundwave.
Whoa. Yo, is that a boombox on his chest?
Soundwave actually turns into a tape recorder, and Soundwave, as we all know, of course, has the cassettes. Little Transformers, who turn into cassette tapes and are stored inside his chest. This one in particular is Ravage. This sometimes sentient, sometimes not, Jaguar, who was also a founder of the Decepticons, but also sometimes was a creation of the Decepticons many years later when they were on Earth. It kind of just depends on who you believe.
I kind of feel bad for Ravage, not gonna lie. You turn into a cassette tape just to be like used by
By your dad.
Oh.
This man is constantly
Cut! By, what's his name? Soundwave.
So is Soundwave canonically the father of this Ravager?
No, he's the owner of Ravage.
Did he create him? Did the Great Mind
Well, no,
create
he founded Ravage.
He found...
He found Ravage and Laserbeak and
Oh,
Bosa,
there's
and then Rumble and Frenzy were minicons who he adopted.
Oh,
So-
that's beautiful.
Okay, so Ravage already
Adoption.
existed,
Yes.
and so this
And was
cassette-
also already an Earth Jaguar, yes.
also already a cassette tape.
Well, no. Back on Cybertron, they were actually data retrieval disks, also known as data slugs.
And what
That-
did you say?
Looked like
Data slug?
cassette tapes.
When they got to Earth, yes. Now, I know that you're trying to grill me. It's time for yet another one of my famous questions. Now, Soundwave holds a whole lot of hats. Now, tell me this. When Soundwave was killed, when he was revived, what name did he undertake? Did he become A, Sound Blaster, B, Sound Ravager, or C, Sound Mixer?
Sound Mixer!
Absolutely.
That sounds really cool. I would know. I love Transformers.
Were you also going with Sound Mixer?
I was gonna go with B, option B.
Sound Ravager?
Yeah.
I'm afraid you were all wrong. He, of course, became Sound Blaster.
Oh, right.
That's so lame.
Well, you know, that's
Sound
your opinion.
fucker.
However, it's not all bad.
While this was happening, there was also...
We gotta show the plans. Play with his ass.
Oh.
So play.
Now, this wasn't all bad. At the same time the Civil War was happening, there was also a scientific exploration team going out to attempt to find other planets. This was led by Starscream, who would later go on to be second in command of the Decepticons, and we all know just how crazy things got between him and Megatron. Old Starscream here really believed himself should have been the leader of the Decepticons, and hated Megatron for taking the position.
But like, he looks like a dork.
Well, he looks like the Sky Commander of the Decepticons, you mean.
Dork.
However, he wasn't the only member of the science expedition team, because he was joined by his best friend, Jetfire, also known as Skyfire in the G1 cartoon, due to legal issues with Bandai. This is, of course, the more cartoon-accurate Siege Jetfire. However, most people would also enjoy the toy-accurate design, which is a great deal more robotic-looking. Skyfire and Starscream were partners, and actually discovered the planet Earth until Skyfire fell to the icy Arctic caps and was unable to escape the planet. Years later, they would discover him when all the other Decepticons and Autobots crash-landed on the planet in 1984.
Was there coke?
Cameron,
Yay.
you look like you're dying. Once Starscream got back, the Decepticon was really into full swing. It was hard to actually figure out what could possibly stop the oncoming masses, which is why Alpha Trion eventually found Optimus Prime.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we all know this guy.
Who?
Only the sexiest piece of metal around. What do you mean?
Now,
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime and Megatron were actually gladiators in the pits of Chaos, and the way that they rose to power was Megatron decided to kill a politician that they were supposed to protect, whereas Optimus Prime remained loyal, which is what eventually made him the leader of the Autobots. However, what also actually happened was Optimus Prime was once a dock worker? It's true.
Docking?
He was actually entrusted with taking in shipments of energy from other planets. Him and his best friends, Dion and Ariel. However, when the Decepticons came to the factory, Orion Pax was actually quite enamored with their ability to fly. Unaware, however, that treachery was lying in wait, Megatron killed him and his friends, and Alpha Trion, the leader 83 that we discussed earlier, rebuilt Optimus Prime in order to combat the Decepticons and to be far more powerful than any of them could ever hope to be.
Windshield wiper boobs.
what's actually really
Awesome.
amazing about those windshield wiper boobs is
What?
possesses the matrix of leadership. That is what connects him to Primus, gives him his power, and also gives him the wisdom of the 13 primes.
Is that like a piece of the guy that turned into a planet?
It is, in fact, a connection to his spark, yes. Now, Optimus Prime was joined by a great deal of allies, including the medic, Ratchet. Ratchet, of course, is famous to G1 comic fans due to the fact that when Shockwave killed all the Autobots and Decepticons on Earth, Ratchet was still alive and was able to reawaken them. Ratchet is also incredibly special due to the fact that he alone saved multiple Autobots during the early stages of the war on Earth, including a time when Devastator took apart Optimus Prime and rebuilt him into a skyscraper. It was only because of Ratchet's daring ingenuity that they were able to return him to his physical body.
Very cool.
Alongside Ratchet, we had the twin brothers of Sideswipe and Sunstreaker, which actually gets into a whole new discussion, where you see Sideswipe and Sunstreaker have always been discussed as the Autobot brothers. And you may ask yourself, how can the Transformers be brothers? Well, that leads into a whole separate discussion as to how they procreate. At this current time, it was believed that they were simply constructed out of machinery. However, as we would later find out, it's not quite that simple. Alongside them was the Autobot Chief of Security, Ironhide, Optimus Prime's best friend and oldest ally. Ironhide was also voiced by Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, who gave him a Texas twang, befitting the fact that Ironhide was very much the old gunslinger type. His favorite weapon was to use liquid nitrogen.
What the fuck? How did they get a license to fire? Also, I think you're wrong. This is Bumblebee because he's yellow.
Now, while we're discussing important members of Optimus Prime's inner circle, we have his second in command, designation Jazz. That is, of course, a reference to the 07 movie. Now, Jazz is the most often described of Optimus Prime's second in command. There's a few separate Autobots who all held that distinction, including Prowl, Ironhide, Red Alert, and Jazz himself. However, Jazz was the special operations leader and was the one who would actually distinguish who should go on assignments. It was him who would often bellow out which Autobots should be ready to transform before Optimus Prime gave his iconic catchphrase. The iconic catchphrase being...
Uh-oh.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Not that catchphrase.
Aw, shucks. Catchphrase.
The catchphrase, of course, being, it's time to transform and roll out, or even just transform and roll out. Eventually, that even just became roll out. And later on, even maximum overdrive.
Yo, he's kind of the sickest one so far.
Jazz was actually voiced.
maximum overdrive.
Meanwhile, I'm taking these little kids.
Jazz was actually voiced by Scatman and Crawlers, a jazz legend who also voiced Hong Kong Phooey, a character who's special in the fact that he's racist against two separate groups of people all at the same time.
To racism! Yes!
Out of all of Optimus Prime's early allies, the one that definitely held the most prestige to us fans, as well as the market share, has to be Bumblebee.
Woo!
Yes, Bumblebee, this young Autobot scout, was actually meant to only be in the pilot episode. However, he proved to be so popular with children that he superseded Hound as Spike's main Autobot partner. And he went on to become the main character of the franchise in many ways, rivaled only by Optimus Prime in terms of usage, popularities, and merchandise created. This is, of course, the Origins Bumblebee, the one that transforms into the car mode he had in the original pilot episode, More Than Meets the Eye Part 1, his Cybertronian car mode, which has only now been officially released by Hasbro as a Target exclusive, known as Origins Bumblebee, which is what I'm holding now.
So why do they turn into cars then? Do they go to Earth?
Of course they go to Earth, and then once they're on Earth, in order to blend in with the local population, they gain alternate modes in order to still transport themselves, but to also be robots in disguise.
But like, some of these that we've seen before, they're already, like, even though they're like technically ancient, they already have these transforming parts.
Yeah.
So what if,
Explain
like,
to me.
because they should be just like robots then, because like why would like...
This guy's got a tractor.
That's his
And-
And a mixer!
And a cement mixer. And a plow.
This is where I point out that our distinguished guests of experts do pouring up a very good mention of the G1 cartoon, which in order to save animation, even though they had Cybertronian vehicle modes, on Cybertron their robot modes look just like their Earth robot modes, and actually had things like human tires and headlights. However, that has later been retconned into being the idea that the Transformers would always have these basic shapes. It's just the vehicle mode that would change. That's something that you see actually in Hearts of Steel, in which Shockwave turns into an old freight boat, but still has the very similar silhouettes.
And a cool tidbit, that's the same boat where Steamboat Willie happened.
It's
Rat
true.
got on the boat.
It's very true.
Wait a second. So that guy
Shockwave.
is a plane.
Shockwave is a gun.
He's a gun.
Shockwave turns into a gun, yes.
What? Which one? Which one? This?
Shockwave.
Get Shockwave out. He's purple and has one eye.
Purple, one eye.
Why don't we put them back on and make a beautiful little diorama display?
That is Soundwave, my
That's
good
Sound
friend.
Smasher.
You said purple.
That's blue!
Are we discovering that you're colorblind?
I actually am a little colorblind.
Yeah, is that the deficiency?
Why don't you put
Because
that
everyone
one
has a color
down?
difference.
We should
That's-
here. Let's make a little display. Let's get them all out here. Let's get the homies out.
Now let's not get too
Hand
crazy,
below.
because we've not even mentioned one of
Is
the
this
That's him.
cardboard?
That's him. He turns
That is
into a
Shockwave.
It's literally the same color as that one.
No, it's
No, it's
Got
not.
it.
It's literally
That's
the same
purple.
color.
It's
It's so Cameron. That's not the
Navy
same
blue.
color.
These are literally the same
No,
color.
they're not!
Cameron!
arguing.
This one's a little bit lighter, but like they're the same color.
I mean, I guess you're right. It is lighter, but
No,
this is navy
he's-
blue. This is purple.
That's a dark purple, and that's a like a navy blue. I'm looking at it. They're not that.
Cameron,
Hey
you
guys,
need your
click
eyes
the
checked.
poll up at the top to see what you think the correct answer is.
Colorblind.
It's also time for me to point out that I am a dedicated wave shipper.
A what?
A wave shipper. That's the ship name of Shockwave and Soundwave.
Okay, so now they want to make the Autobots fuck.
We'll get into it later when we get into G2, in which we actually learn the mating practices of the Transformers.
Okay, wait.
Oh!
So this is the one that turns into the gun,
Yes.
What kind of gun?
and
Space gun.
also a boat.
No, in Hearts of Steel, he turned into a boat.
Right.
So then, yeah, it turns into
So
a boat.
also a boat then.
No,
You said
that's a different universe.
A boat,
What
just
do you mean
like
a different
boat.
universe?
That's a different universe. That's the one where they meet Mark Twain. We're talking about the G1 cartoon, goddammit. You're supposed to be experts. The G1 cartoon is what we're talking about on my show. Okay? We're not talking about Hearts of
Break
Steel.
for 5 minutes.
Toys.
But yeah.
I'll have you know.
I'll have you know that you can shut up.
I'll have you
We're
know
getting into Wheeljack.
that the G1 cartoon
We are getting into Wheeljack
hasn't
right
been
now.
relevant in the Transformers educational sphere since the 1980s.
Motherfucker. The only toy lines they have right now are the G1 cartoon designs. It's the only relevant one.
I'm sorry, but you're just wrong.
Okay, that's
Oh.
right. God.
Talk to me again when you actually care about real Transformers and get to the Michael Bay designs.
Okay, I want you to name me one cartoon. Just give me one cartoon name right now, expert.
Transformers.
We can't be talking. That's not even the name of that one!
It's called.
The G1 cartoon is the Transformers!
You said name a cartoon.
Look, this is Wheeljack. Now then, guys, Wheeljack is
Talk
actually...
about a clean pivot right there.
Wheeljack is actually the mad scientist of the Autobots. He is the one who was actually the primary designer of the Ark and was able to get the Autobots to Earth in the first place. Wheeljack is also very special in that he transforms into a specific race car that was only discovered in Europe. Now, Wheeljack made a great number of contributions to the Autobot team, including working on Coruscant with Perceptor, the Immobilizer. However, the greatest of all of Wheeljack's inventions has to be the fan favorites. Now, here is the big question of the night. Our most obvious of our multiple choice questions. What is Wheeljack's most impressive invention? Is it A, the Teletran 1's recharging chambers, 2, the Dinobots, or 3, the Technobots?
The light bulb.
The answer was, of course, B, the Dinobots. This, of course, being the leader of the Dinobots, Grimlock. Now, Grimlock is quite the character, as we all know, voiced by Greg Berger brilliantly. He was actually a very subtle critique of the idea of the Autobots, as they always treated him and his team as not being true Cybertronians due to being made on Earth and without sparks. However, that leads to the excellent G1 episode where the Dinobots had to go to get component parts for every Autobot because Earth's atmosphere was actually making them unable to operate. Grimlock especially has quite the storied career, and it is him who destroyed Unicron's successor, the electric monster made by Primacron in Call of the Primitives.
I don't know all the different crons. There's so many of these things.
Grimlock is also very special due to his fun, captivating voice that belayed just how fragile and sensitive he was on the inside. You hear him come in and say, "Me, Grimlock, love to munch metal." And you don't understand the sheer isolation that Grimlock feels. It's a truly tragic experience. That's a $90 fucking shockwave. You better not break it, you motherfucker.
I'm not breaking it.
You
I'm
better not fucking
You paid
break it.
$90?
What the fuck? I didn't pay 90. He's 90 now because everyone wants him.
Girl. you don't
I transformed him.
However, that
That's a
wasn't
gun?
the last.
That's literally
discovery.
Rob.
That's not a gun.
That's Rob from Smash.
While they were on Earth, they also discovered another exploration team of Decepticons who, when they crash land in Venezuela, they took the form of insects, also known as the Insecticons. This is, of course,
The
their leader,
Insecticons.
Shrapnel.
That's so funny.
The Insecticons were actually quite the menace for the Autobots and Decepticons due to their seeming inability to be destroyed, as well as the fact that they could make multiple clones of themselves. They, multiple times, made plagues of themselves. Literal armies of Insecticons that would tear apart any city they came across.
Just like a beautiful locust. Whoever came up with Insecticons,
Save the
Pretty good.
Transformers canon.
yeah.
Now then,
Yeah.
We get to the final episode of the season one of the cartoon. I'm just watching this shit unfold. In which Heavy Metal War, which is when Megatron and the Decepticons actually create the Constructicons and Devastator. Here on Earth, they actually took Earth vehicles and made entirely new Cybertronians known as the Constructicons. It was them who then went to war with the Dinobots, and it was believed in the season 1 finale that all Autobots and Decepticons had actually ended the war when all the Decepticons were plunged into lava and the Autobots believed themselves to be victorious.
Alright. But like, what?
No one's going to question me on the fact that the Constructicons made Megatron, and then they turned out to be Autobots that Megatron reprogrammed, and then on Earth he had to make the Constructicons. No.
I honestly lost track about like 10 minutes ago.
There's so many different kinds of
I've
comics.
been associating this entire time.
I thought you were talking about the Insecticons still.
Constructicons.
But like, when did they get guns? Cause like, if they're like from space,
Yes.
they could fight with literally anything, and they didn't come to Earth until like, you know,
Well,
like what the
they came
80s.
to Earth during like the millions of BCs. They were actually laying dormant in Mount St. Helens until 1980.
Yeah, so like, when did they decide guns are really cool?
They always had guns.
But like, they didn't know about guns.
Guns aren't a human concept. And they don't fire bullets, they're energy projectiles.
What? Like a fucking Ghostbuster? Like
No, not like a Ghostbuster. It's different. It's different. It's fucking different. I don't even care. Okay. In season 2, the Autobots made their primary objective killing Devastator, which you guys seem to have done a real bang up job.
That's Devastator?
Yeah, that's
Devastator?
Devastator. Yeah.
He's devastated.
Oh!
The entire first half of season 2
Why is he like a farmer though?
was dedicated
Is he
to
a farmer?
destroying Devastator.
He has farm.
However, that led to new
Why
discoveries
is he
of the
like
Transformers.
broken right now? What the heck happened?
Why
is he so mad?
why don't we just put Devastator down? Why don't we just put that one down?
When did they discover cement mixer?
Yeah, wait. You said Devastator's a Constructicon.
Yes.
I already asked you about this.
Yeah.
And they lived on not Earth.
Leg. Stinky leg.
Due to stanky leg.
Death drop. There we go.
So they lived not on Earth.
I mean, they came to Earth.
Silly Jazz. He's the coolest.
Did he look like this before he came to Earth?
Yes.
So he.
Are you telling me
knew
cement
about
mixers
fucking
aren't a
rules.
human concept?
There was something very similar to a cement mixer on Cybertron. I thought you, as the expert, would know that. Yeah. Okay? Humans don't have a fucking monopoly on construction. Construction happens other places. The Quintessons made them.
Now there's
With
a
cement
quintesson-
mixers?
Yes!
None of them are made of cement.
Do they use cement in their buildings? Maybe.
Say cement without the end.
Okay.
Do it.
Getting into season 2.
Why?
Say cement without the end.
Getting into season 2, a new generation of Autobots arrived on Earth from Cybertron, the most prominent of which wound up being Perceptor, who became the main Autobot scientist. He was the single most brilliant
That's the
mind on Cybertron, and he turned into a microscope, a telescope, and a tank. However, season 2 also went to show us that the Autobots were not.
Wait, hold on. So all of these before him are season 1.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Well, yes.
He's praying.
18.
Sorry.
He's praying to his god.
18 Autobots, 13 Decepticons, as well as eventually Jetfire, the 6 Constructicons, the 3 Insecticons, and the 5 Dinobots.
Do any of them have
Donut Bus?
personalities?
Yes! We've been talking about their personalities!
Like this one. Where's the like? He's sensitive.
There was the one you said that had a bit of a Texas.
Ironhide.
That was one of the first ones we talked about.
The Ironhide, the big red one, right there.
He's from Texas.
He's from Texas.
Yes.
Texas got one thing right. This gentleman right here. Slay.
However, Season 2 also showed that the Autobots were not always a united front, as Perceptor was frequently bullied by Brawn.
The strongest of
That
the
tiny
Autobots.
thing?
Yes.
He could have gone. Boink.
Well, no, he couldn't, because Braun.
Who's the loser that got bullied by him? Which one?
Perceptor, the one you're holding.
Boo.
It's because Perceptor was a thinker,
Nerd.
not a fighter, and
Nerd.
Braun was the strongest of the Autobots, which is why his name was Braun.
Brawn would frequently bully Perceptor until an episode in which Perceptor, Bumblebee, and
Kills
Brawn
him.
had to shrink themselves down to go inside of Megatron and remove the heart of Cybertron, which was giving him godlike powers.
Where's the heart of Cybertron on this thing?
It's not on the toy.
That's lame.
It went into his chest.
Right in his boob. Well, but we can see his heart.
Yeah, because Optimus Prime having the Matrix of Leadership is more important than the thing Megatron had for one episode.
Alright, guess save their priorities.
I don't think Megatron would agree with what you just said.
The big homie, Megatron. Oh, let's get him in the mix.
There were more additions to the Season 2 cast. After Devastator, Megatron actually entered into an arms race with the Autobots, upping the game with triple changers. Decepticons that were not only huge in size, but would have 2 vehicle modes. This is Blitzwing, who also has a
Blitzwing?
Blitzwing.
Oh, I said squeak.
He transformed into a German tank as well as a German jet fighter. Now,
What
Blitzwing
was that?
is actually rather impressive because him, alongside his compatriot Astrotrain and Starscream, actually staged a hostile takeover of the Decepticons, known as Triple Takeover. And it was actually the most successful any Decepticon was in the G1 cartoon of actually taking over the Decepticons.
Do you have the other 2? Or are you 4?
I mean, Starscream is there, and I didn't bring the Astrotrain.
Boo.
There were also additions
He has a
to.
sword.
There were also additions to the Autobots, including Smokescreen, who was characterized as being a gambler. He actually had a bit of a gambling addiction, if we remember the G1 episode, The Gambler. And it was actually in that episode that we met DevCon, an Autobot who wasn't aligned with Optimus Prime. And it's when we found out that not only did the Decepticons actually succeed in conquering the rest of the galaxy aside from Cybertron and Earth, but it's also when we found out that the only stronghold of Autobots left standing was Optimus Prime's forces on Earth. So even though the main battlefield was always Autobot dominated, the Decepticons were actually a greater threat to the universe as a whole.
Autobots. Roll out.
Alongside Smokescreen was the narcissist, Trax, who was actually modeled after Mr. Howell from Gilligan's Island. There's the long-sunning joke within the family, of course, that he is a homosexual. And now we're going to get into the next part of our multiple choice question. Who is joked to be Trax's human boyfriend? Is it A, Peter, B, Raul, or C, Nikos?
Nikos. Sounds like the name of a lover. A real lover.
I'm gonna go B.
Raul.
Cameron is actually the first person in our experts to get a point, as it was in fact Raul, a
I am an expert.
car thief who tried to jack Trax, and then they became close friends.
Wait, he tried to jack him, meaning he tried to enter him and then they became friends? He tried to enter him with no consent?
The next Autobot was actually the Autobot geologist,
Swept
Beachcomber.
right under the rug with that one.
Beachcomber was actually a pacifist who hated war, and in the absolutely heartbreaking episode of The Golden Lagoon, Beachcomber finds a perfect natural habitat here on Earth, and in the center is a lake of pure electron, a gold liquid that makes the people who paint themselves with it completely invincible. Unfortunately, the Autobots and Decepticons, in a battle to try to gain control of the lake, destroyed the habitat, leaving Beachcomber truly devastated as he realized that he was the one who led to the death and destruction of such a beautiful natural habitat.
The same thing is happening in our oceans today with the coral reefs and pollution.
Shout out to the Pacific Ocean.
So maybe stop littering. No pollute. Listen, do you want to make him cry? Do you want to make him cry? This little man who has nothing left to his name?
Yet another addition to the Autobot Microbots was Powerglide, the first Autobot introduced with an aerial vehicle mode. He was the first Autobot to transform into a plane and or helicopter capable.
But can't he? He has these little things on his back that make it look like a flying.
Jetfire does in fact also turn to a jet, yes.
So then he's not the first.
This is true.
So many of these have wings.
Well,
he's not the first.
Well, no, but he's.
Powerglide was the first Autobot who was introduced as an Autobot who had this, because Jetfire was introduced as a Decepticon.
So these are supposed to be all of these original figures, and some of them are original with wings, but they're still not.
Well, Trax turns into a car. The car just has wings.
I'm trying so hard to make this into a car while still being ginger with it.
So anyway, Powerglide was actually a bit of a blowhard. He had quite the inflated ego due to his ability to fly. And more than that, he was actually a bit of a womanizer, because he gained a human girlfriend, a rich human girlfriend, may I say. However, we introduced this character only 2 episodes after the search for Alpha Trion, where we meet his Cybertronian girlfriend, Moonracer. Old Powerglide there was a bit of a dog.
Finally, we get a beautiful woman with a lovely color palette. Women will always prevail. Look at this baddie. This is so cool. I love her colors.
Moonracer does have really good colors.
She's so cool. What does she turn into?
A stick on wheels. She turns into a space car.
Slay!
However,
Our first slay of the night.
that is when we find out for the first time that there were female Transformers. In the Season 2 episode, Enter Nightbird, we are led to believe that there is no such thing as naturally occurring female Transformers. And indeed, in the Marvel Comics, Prime's Rib, we find out that all Transformers are naturally occurring male. And they had to specifically purpose make a female in order to get a bunch of angry feminists off their back. However, in the Season 2 episode, we find out about Elita 1. She is leading the last stronghold of Autobots on Cybertron, and all of them are female. However, they speak of the female Autobots as though they are a separate species from the male Autobots. And specifically, there's no mention of female Decepticons. Though that was later retconned with the Megatronia 5-pack released by Takara Tomy during their Unite Warriors line. Elita 1 is also special due to the fact that she is the other protege of Alpha Trion, as well as the partner of Optimus Prime.
And she's pink.
She is also.
This is great. She's the colors of the lesbian flag. Be who you are.
She also has the mutant power to freeze time.
She's the coolest one so far.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh my god, she can stop time. All these other guys are like, I have a gun. I have a sword. I'm going to stop time.
However,
So cool.
when they returned to Cybertron again, it was under far less happy circumstances.
Get the baddies
For
out here.
Megatron had gained the key to Vector Sigma. Vector Sigma is the supercomputer at the core of Cybertron. However, now it's time for yet another multiple choice question. Was Vector Sigma used for A, energy production, B, to grant life to Cybertronians, or C, in order to see the future?
A.
I was initially gonna be like, oh, is this the weird, the mating ritual? But
The mating
that
ritual.
wasn't one of the options, so I guess A.
Ruby is now on the board, as Vector Sigma is actually
Yeah.
introduced as the supercomputer that brings life to all Cybertronians. And using the energy of Vector Sigma, Megatron gives creation to the Stunticons, who transform
What?
into Menasor, the single most powerful of all combiners, which we find out during the episode Starscream's Betrayal, in that he alone is able to single-handedly defeat Bruticus, who had just defeated every other known combiner.
What does this dude again?
He is Menasor, the combined form of the Stunticons.
The
That's like a
Stunticons.
cool. He looks like a D&D transformer.
Now, the Stunticons were actually the combined form of 5 Decepticon cars. The intention was to gain a land advantage against the Autobots. However, the Autobots were able to get to Vector Sigma. However, Megatron had stolen the key to Vector Sigma.
Why don't you just put it?
No, keep talking.
So,
Megatron had gained the key to Vector Sigma, and the Autobots were unable to create new life. So Alpha Trion, the creator of Optimus Prime, gave his life.
Rhonda's dying on the inside.
To create the aerial bots, who transformed into Superion. Superion, of course, being the natural enemy of Menasor, and the aerial bots, the natural enemies of the Stunticons.
They really said all of it. Should we add like maybe one jet? All of the jets.
all the jokes.
Every missile. He's badass. Suicide base. Look at this dude. Look at him go.
However, that wasn't the end of the Combiner Wars, if you will, as not too much later, Starscream would betray the Decepticons. And whence he did, he actually created his own Combiner, Bruticus, the combined form of the Combaticons, Decepticon renegades, who had been long since forgotten. Starscream stole their personality components, gave them new bodies, and made the second most powerful Combiner, Bruticus.
Why are they getting big? Wait, are these all canonic sizes?
No. The Combiner should be way, way bigger.
So like these guys are bigger, or are they?
No, those guys should be small.
Slay.
These are
TV.
decent, like aside from the Combiners being way too small, these are decent relative sizes for everyone.
Whoa. You're so delicate. How are you supposed to play with this? They must break really easily. Why don't we test it out?
Throws it against the wall.
Wow, guys, that was a pretty epic break. Now it's time to get into the next part of the G1 Transformers canon, that being the movie. So these characters and toys, we like them a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, fuck them! Get rid of all of them! Okay? That one can stay, and that one can stay, and fuck it, that one can't.
There are
Fuck
so
them.
many in this general area. Which
Just
is
don't touch them! Forget them! They don't matter
You said
anymore!
to get rid of
They
them.
don't matter anymore! They don't! Kids need new toys! So here's what we're gonna do. Okay? Okay?
We spent 48 minutes talking about.
Listen to me! The kids need new toys! So, here kids, this one is Hot Rod. He's gonna be the new hip kid. We don't want Bumblebee anymore. We got Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus. He's been here forever. You guys remember him? He's been here forever, right?
He looks like Optimus.
Yes! He's gonna be the city commander.
Is he base boosted Optimus?
RC was here forever.
Yeah.
You need RC and Cup. Cup has been here forever.
Robert
Cup is
Cup.
Optimus Prime's friend. Cup, he turns into a pickup truck. Cup.
Robert Cobb.
He's an old man. All these guys have been here forever. Okay? So the movie takes place in 2005. The future year 2005. The Decepticons have conquered Cybertron, and the Autobots are on the moon. The Decepticons attack Autobot City, and they kill everyone! Ironhide, dead! Ratchet, dead! Brawn, dead! Smokescreen, dead! Sideswipe, dead! Sunsugar, dead! Optimus Prime, fuck yeah, dead! Elita 1, dead! All of them are dead!
But I like her.
I don't care! They're dead!
No, she's not.
Optimus Prime is dead. Optimus Prime is dead, and Optimus Prime is going to... It's okay. It's okay. Listen to me. Quintesson's okay because he was introduced in the movie.
Slide.
Yeah. So, it's very simple. Optimus Prime, we need to get rid of him. We need to clear the board. The super popular guys can stay. We're going to keep Jazz, Bumblebee, and Soundwave, and the Combiners. Everyone else we got to get rid of right now. Grimlock we can keep too.
Can we bring
Listen! This is your new Optimus Prime. This is Ultra Magnus. You love him just as much. He's Optimus Prime in a power suit. Don't you love him?
Is that canon or is he just...
He's a white Optimus Prime body in a power suit, yes.
What do you mean Optimus Prime body was Optimus Prime?
He's the same body. He's a repaint of Optimus Prime's toy, but with new armor.
Is he the same
Oh!
character as
No!
Optimus Prime?
Ultra Magnus is
Oh.
Optimus Prime's best friend, and when Optimus Prime is killed by Megatron during the Battle of Autobot City, he passes the Matrix of Leadership on to Ultra Magnus.
And thus his color palette as well, because he's that cool and self-centered.
However, Ultra Magnus can't deal with that now. He is not equipped to lead. And it's Hot Rod. Young, impulsive Hot Rod, voiced by Judd Nelson, the guy from The Breakfast Club.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
takes up the Matrix of Leadership. He's the chosen one. He's the toy to buy, you stupid fucks! You get Hot Rod. And when Hot
He's
Rod
so big.
raises the Matrix of Leadership above his head and unleashes it, he arises. He becomes Rodimus Prime!
Rodimus?
Rodimus!
Just like you.
Yes, no, Rodimus. R-O-D, Rodimus Prime.
Look at this little hot
Hot Rod becomes Rodimus Prime, thanks to the Matrix of Leadership.
Okay. Okay, legs.
And we still have RC, voiced by the legendary Susan Blue. RC is, of course, supposed to be very Princess Leia inspired. Originally, it was supposed to be Hot Rod and RC were a couple. However, that eventually became RC and Springer. I didn't bring a Springer toy because I only had so much room in the bag. And Cubs continued on as Hot Rod's trusted advisor and one of Optimus Prime's oldest friends. But fuck it! We need more bad guys!
More!
So we have Unicron. Unicron's gonna be voiced by Orson Welles. Unicron fucking dies in the movie. I don't have him because he's a fucking $1,000 toy. That's okay, because we have a new bad guy. Optimus Prime died, Megatron dies, and Unicron. Megatron makes a deal with the devil, and he comes back as Galvatron. And he's voiced by Spock from Star Trek. And Galvatron is a fucking glistening tower of bisexual energy. He's there to fuck. Who is he there to fuck specifically? Cyclonus. Cyclonus, Skywarp Reborn. Fuck you, Bombshell is Skywarp fans. This is supposed to be Skywarp. Skywarp is Cyclonus. He gets turned into Cyclonus. He becomes the actual greatest Decepticon to ever live. I fucking ship him and Tailgate so hard. I fucking love Cyclonus. He becomes...
This one?
What? That's Galvatron.
Then where's his tailgate? Where's his liver?
There is no Tailgate because that's not the G1 cartoon. That's the IDW
He
comics.
doesn't want those.
However, there's also Scourge. And Scourge is Thundercracker Reborn. He's duplicitous. He betrays them. He eventually actually steals the Matrix of Leadership from Hot Rod and becomes super fucked
I
up.
was about to say, first one with facial hair.
No, but not the last one, because in that movie, Eric Idle from Monty Python voices Wreck-Gar, the leader of the Junkions on the planet of Junk. And they are able to get the Autobots to Unicron to fight him. And he speaks only with TV references. Destroy Unicron, kill the Glam Poobah, eliminates even the toughest stains. Say it, motherfuckers! Say his fucking line!
I don't know what you're saying.
Give me a fucking movie reference.
Tis just the flesh wound.
Yeah! I love it when he says that!
Me too. I would know.
And then, in the fucking cartoon, they get Skylinks.
Whoa!
And Skylinks is a space shuttle that turns into a lion and an eagle, and then they combine into a fucking dragon, and they have a posh British accent, and this motherfucker is gay. This motherfucker is gay!
What about it was British?
He's British, and he has a
What
little
about him
man.
is British?
He has a British accent!
But why? What about eagle, cat, dog?
He's Skylinks! He saves the day! He's the last person to fall to the hate plague! And the hate plague is how Optimus Prime comes back to life in Season 3's finale! The hate plague, also known as the Return of Optimus Prime! And then we get to Season 4. And Season 4 was 3 episodes, and they were known as the Rebirth. Because Galvatron takes control of the plasma energy core of Cybertron. And the Autobots and Decepticons fucking land on the planet of Nucleon. And Nucleon is home to the Nucleonians. And the Nucleonians team up with the Autobots and become headmasters.
Master's head.
Yes! Here's Hardhead. He's a tank. You take his head off, it's a fucking little dude. That's the Nucleonian. He's the one, and they're a partner. They're duos. The headmasters make the Cybertronians stronger, smarter, and faster. This is Hardhead.
Master, and head.
Yes.
What?
And here's Brainstorm. He's gonna give you a brain blast. And in the Japanese cartoon, he's Catholic. Every time he sees something that scares him, he does the fucking cross thing. And then you got Chrome Dome.
Crow.
This motherfucker is gay. Rewind. But it's okay, because the Autobots are the only ones getting fucking headmasters. Because there's also Target Masters, where the Nucleonians turn into guns. This is Slug Slicker. Cyclonus is also a Target Master.
Wait, can the gun turn into a little guy too?
Not in that figure, but Cyclonus has a Target Master.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, is it this one?
The one with black in it, yeah. That's Nightstick.
Nightstick!
However, then... Are you guys ready?
I don't know.
There's also, in Season 4, the Horror Comics.
Or?
The Horror Comics. Headmaster triple changers that turn into animals. This is Eight-Face. He turns into a jet and a gorilla, and his head is a little dude.
Now they're just getting silly with me.
And then there's Snapdragon. And
That's not a
Snapdragon
menacing name.
is a dragon that turns into a jet,
Snaps?
and his head's also a little dude.
I like the little dudes. That's like the best part about these.
And that fucking tragically was the end of the Transformers cartoon here in the United States. So it continued in Japan. That was the end of the golden age. Never since G1 have we been given quality writing nor good characters. The continuity was airtight in the G1 cartoon. The characters deep and engrossing, and the toys something truly special. These modern reinventions are alright, but they lack the charm of the true 80s originals. However, that's not where the story ends, because the multiverse exists. And no matter where you are, there's always going to be an Optimus Prime in your life. That's Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie. This is Optimus Prime from the Cyberverse cartoon. This is also Optimus Prime from the Cyberverse cartoon, specifically the Bumblebee Adventures. This is animated Optimus Prime.
You lost his clutch.
It's his shield. And shut up. Just let go.
His purse. I like him. He has a 2D head. Hey, head. That's so cool. He has a battle axe. And
The
a shield.
G2 Laser Rod Optimus Prime, which was the first on Optimus
Laser
Prime,
Rod!
was depicted as a long-nosed truck.
What do you mean long nose truck?
As in not a flat-nosed truck.
I don't know what that means.
It means there's shit that comes out from under the windshield.
Okay.
This is Classics Optimus Prime, which was meant to be a Marvel-inspired redesign. And then there's also Leo Convoy.
Yo, that one's really insanely cool. That one's kind of the sickest one. Oh, this one has flames. Hold on. Flame shot.
It's so tragic to me that Transformers has been awful ever since 1987. There will never again be good Transformers anything. Except for the new movie, of course, which I hear is going to be very engrossing. We're definitely not being sponsored by Hasbro right now. It's going to be a true masterpiece. I can't wait for Optimus to show up. Because he'll be in it. And you want to know what? You don't want to know what? Sure, I guess we got to talk about it, right? In the 90s, Hasbro decided the Transformers weren't good enough. And they made fucking Beast Wars. So what? The characters were deep and engaging. So what? There was even like themes of like suicide, self-harm, destiny. So what that the story was engaging and the animation was groundbreaking. So what that it was new and gave Transformers a lifeline. They suck. They suck because they're not what I have. Okay? Truck, not monkey. Say it, experts. Truck's not monkey. Truck, not monkey. Say it. Say it.
I don't think I want to.
Say it.
I really don't think I will.
Say it, motherfucker. I'm so confused.
You're gonna have to pull out an Autobot.
I want you to say truck, not monkey. This is not Optimus Prime. Optimus Primal. Primal. What a stupid pun. Optimus Primal.
It's kind of good. It's kind of good. Listen, as experts, we have to have a non-biased opinion and just like objectively look at the franchise as a whole. Because wouldn't it be pretty biased if we just liked what we liked and not like, you know, take everything else into consideration as pro reviewers?
Yeah, you got a point. It's just a shame that point's fucking stupid. No! It should just be the stuff I like. Fuck it! End the goddamn show.
Don't take the cool one! Stop! Stop! Don't hurt them, please.
I hate all